Viewer discretion is expressed for the following program. If you are easily triggered or offended, please exercise caution while viewing this program, because the hosts really don't care. Warning, this show is not for children, and not for coworkers either.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Now I'm just not reading your comment in the chat, Deke. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I am JJ. I'm still JJ Osferatu, and that's random NPC number 6. And we meet here weekdays at 6:30 to talk about news, politics, culture, pop culture, movies, crazy people, trans, something, werewolves, all kinds of stuff. And we're back. We had some big political news kind of happen yesterday, I think. So we'll be talking about that today. And we are going to have, Deke, I know you're super, super excited. I don't even think you can contain the amount of excited you are, because there's a trailer that's been released, which is the sequel to Captain Marvel. And I know you like the Marvel's TV show with the girl in it. So we're going to check that out in a little bit. And we also have maybe a special guest. So good morning, Deacon. How are you?
I'm good. I'm having a lot of problems this morning understanding you, because your audio was bad before we started on my end, and now you're just a fuzzy blob that I can kind of make out what you're saying. And I mean, I said something about the Marvels, and we're going to watch the Marvels trailer, but I can't really understand.
Now Sinister saying he's hearing it weird too, huh?
Yeah, so that's why I think I figured out what our audio problem is that we keep having. I think it's your connection.
Is that? My Wi-Fi
connection. Yeah, I think it's connection issues.
Maybe if my phone is too close. Okay,
that's just stuff you have, because you're real fuzzy now. But that's all right. That's all right. I'm good today. Let's introduce our. I don't have anything to chat about. Go ahead.
All right, and it's Friday, and we got our. It's, what do you call this? Liars Club. We got our Liars Club together. It's Friday. Liars Table. And we got our friend Sinister Minister, and welcome back to the show. I am eager to talk about some stuff that we have on the docket today, and just get your opinions as well. But before we get started, Deke, music us up, and I'll see if I can do something about my connection. I don't know what I can do.
I don't know what you can do now. Since you host and start everything, you'd have to kill everything and start it all over, and that's just not going to work. But you are just a fuzzy. I don't know what you look like to Sinister Minister, but you're a fuzzy blob to me. I can see your face, but you're all like, I'm watching Betamax.
That might be better.
Like watching JJW on VHS.
Yes.
This is what it is. This is JJ and VHS.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we doing now? Oh, we're doing
music.
Song of the day. Yeah. So our song of the day, we've been doing Colter Wall all week. This last song this week to check out Colter Wall is from his Western Swing and Waltzes and Other Punchy Songs album. It is a cover song from Marty Robbins. Big Iron is the name of the song. You've probably heard it before. If you haven't, it is a song about a sheriff lawman, not really a sheriff. I guess he's a lawman that comes into town, and he's looking for who was the bad guy's name? Texas Red. He was after the outlaw Texas Red. I think. Oh, okay. Maybe. Okay, y'all were both not moving at the same time. I was like, oh no, I think I have. I think I'm frozen now because they're not moving. They were both like,
keep moving.
Colter Wall does an excellent version of this song. It is pretty much a cover. It's not a remake where they've redone and rearranged the song. This is a cover. So it's pretty much sounds just like the original, but it's a great song. Colter Wall's a new kid. He's about 28, 29 years old, and he's got an excellent voice. Check him out and check out his albums. He's only got 3 or 4 albums out. We've been adding him all week long. JJ likes Colter Wall.
I like it. I need to. I keep threatening to buy it. I haven't made any purchases yet this week. I think I need to listen to because what is it, the song that has the CD that has the devil song on it.
Imaginary
it's got like 5 or
Appalachia.
6 songs. Yeah. And then there's the other one, which is Little Songs. I think it has more tracks on it.
Yeah.
But the Imaginary Appalachia has got that song that I definitely really like. So
I'll throw you some stuff
have to
next
decide
week.
what
I
I'm gonna
think
do.
you'll like. There's an artist named Billy Strings that I think you'll really, really dig. I've been playing some Billy Strings on the radio.
It's great.
Yeah, and a lot of folks love him. And then there's another band that I discovered about 2 months ago, just going through, and I actually played them on the air again this morning. It's a band called Elephant Revival, and this song is called "Sing to the Mountain." It's a great song, and they're kind of a very folksy band with mandolin and violin and stuff like that. Elephant Revival is the name of this band, so I'll introduce you to them next week. I think you might like them.
You got anything with a fiddle? Because I'll fall for a fiddle.
Oh,
I'll
really?
be
I can fiddle you up. We can go fiddle next week. If you want to. Seriously, there's a local girl here in town. Her name is Julia. Actually, I think her name is Julia Watkins. If you wanted to look her up on YouTube, Julia Watkins with the violin. She plays an electric violin. She does a lot of kid stuff around here, around our town and whatnot. And we were interviewing her a couple of years ago in here in the radio station. She's a real pretty young blonde girl. And we were interviewing her here in the radio station, and I was listening to some of her electric violin music, and I was just listening to this stuff, and I went, I said, have you ever thought about marketing this music to video game companies? And she was like, no, I've never thought about that ever. And I told her, I said, this is video game music. This is music that I would hear in the background of a video game or a boss fight or something. This is beautiful. It's soothing, but it's got, and I was explaining this music, and she was like, I've never thought about that before. And I was like, oh yeah, if you want to make some money, try to find some video game developers. This stuff is brilliant for video games. So check.
What's her name?
Julia Watkins. Yeah. She's just
Watkins.
Watkins, I think so. She's just a local girl that does violin, electric violin. And the only reason I say her name is because somebody was in here in the radio station the other day and was like, Julia Watkins is going to be doing something with the kids at the library. And I was like, oh, I know her. She's a nice girl. But she's got some the electric violin. If you like violin, check that stuff out, man. She's got a YouTube page that's kind of cool.
And support your local libraries.
Support your local library. Support your local musicians too. Your local libraries. Our local library system is, oh my Lord, it's fabulous, dude. We have a maker's space.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know I mean, most libraries probably have this crap now, but I was pretty proud of it with ours. We have this maker's space here. I'm trying to pull it up. And you have right here, it is maker's space. There is a laser cutter, a 3D laser printer, vinyl cutter, laminator, heat press, embroidery machine, all these different machines and stuff that you can go and take classes to learn how to do and then use it. And the librarians were telling me that you get taught on like the 3D printer and all that crap, and people will come in and make stuff, that's broken in their house, and they'll come in and make this little part and 3D print it in the library. And that's kind of cool. So yeah, check out your local libraries. They're really cool. All right. There's our PSA today, JJ. You want to,
if we're not there supporting the libraries, they can become a real drag.
My Lord.
Save that for the end.
You gotta make up for the time you're not there. All right, guys.
Man, you just sound weird today, JJ.
I know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I could do about that. You know what? I do know what I can do about that.
Now. You sound like you're in a
No,
can.
I can. Let me turn off all the sound effects, and I'll just switch to my straight microphone. All right.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, I know. We just won't have any howls or cheers. I don't know. Elgato. I blame Elgato. Elgato, you guys, your app Come on, do something about it. All right. Today is July 21st, 2023. The button to get this song thing is not responding to me. So,
What are you trying to do?
trying to turn the song of the day off. Get it off of my face.
I
And
think that's
also-
yours. I'd hit it a long time ago.
Yeah.
I just see the title card.
Yeah, I do too.
Do you really? You see the title card?
I think your connection's bad today.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I can't really dive into stuff if I can't turn anything on. Man.
Should we say your connection sucks? I'm looking at the vampire, so
Yeah.
Nosferatu.
Whoa.
It does suck.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What the crap is going on?
Ah,
Okay. Hang tight. I'm reloading.
all right.
All right. I don't know what's going on with JJ.
I don't know.
How is things in Sinister Minister's world though? Let me get this title card off the screen. Let me see, pull that off. There we go. What's going on? How's things in your world, sir?
Things are good, man. Yesterday, I actually did an outreach at the library. I do magic.
Oh, really?
Not the gathering, but like the whoof and things disappear. I had about 33 kids come out yesterday and just had a stinking blast.
That's really cool.
It's so much.
That's really cool.
So much. It's a small town, man.
Did you
1,000 people.
did you learn magic as a kid, or is it something that you learned to do?
Yeah. When I was in 4th grade, do you remember watching KET? Square One.
Square One across
Yeah.
Kentucky. Yeah.
All the time, and anytime Harry Blackstone Jr. was on there, I was glued, and that was my first exposure to learning magic. Was through Blackstone Jr. Then I learned Senior, and then I learned like there's David Copperfield, and it's been off and on. I will dabble with stuff, and during COVID, started reading more, watching more, buying stuff, and learning. And yeah,
Well, that's cool.
yeah.
Do you know any? Do you know any magic? Random NPC number 6, JJ. Do you know any magic? Are you a magician?
No, I don't know any magic. No, I don't.
Your connection's a lot better though.
Yes.
You've
Yeah,
made
you
your
know-
connection better.
I reloaded the page, and you know what it said? Hey, thanks for joining. What's your name? And I was like, what are you talking about? I was logged in like 1 second ago. I had to log in again. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I have always thought like doing little tricks that would be fun, but like I don't have the, I guess, pay attention to it enough to stick
I
with
can
it.
see that with you. Yes, you
I'm like,
completely see
like,
that. With
oh,
you.
I see how that trick works. I'm not practicing that.
Yep, I can see that.
Yeah.
You have patience for a lot of things, but the things that you don't have patience for, you're not messing
Zero.
with it. Yeah, zero, none, and that's one of those that you wouldn't have patience
Mhm.
for. I'm kind of like Sinister Minister, where I would I like to entertain kids. I like
Sure.
to be around kids and be silly around kids. That's just me. And
Yeah.
I've always loved, my dream job would have been working for the Jim Henson Company, being a puppeteer.
Oh, for
I
sure.
wanted to be a puppeteer. And so I would still love to do. There's several times that I've thought about getting together with my local library about doing something for the kids. It's the thing that I've always wanted to do was start up an after school, about 2 times a week, an after school D&D program or a tabletop role playing program. And I've talked to a couple of buddies in the area that were really thinking about trying to get this started. I don't think it would take very much, but we're going to talk to some gaming companies and see if we could get them to donate some stuff for the kids and whatnot.
Just on that idea, would you spend that time like just playing a game, or would you spend like say 3 or 4 weeks like teaching kids like here's how you
No, it would
set
be
up
teaching
a
how
game?
to do it. No, that would be
Yeah.
teaching the kids how
Yeah.
to do it on their own, because that's the number one problem with the tabletop games is there's all these people that want to play, and there's not very many people that know how to play and want to like run the game. And D&D is one of those games where you can sit down and read the book and learn how to play, but you're really not going to learn to play unless you know someone who already knows how to play and is going to teach you. You can learn from the book, and that's fine, but you're not going to learn unless someone teaches you the game.
Right.
It's a weird game.
Well, delayed gratification is what that is. I mean, you got to teach kids.
We got a family night tonight. We're doing the Stranger Things campaign, the D&D campaign. Stranger Things. We're doing it tonight as a family.
Oh, that's cool.
How old are your kids? How old are your kids, sir?
My oldest is 19.
Yeah.
And then my next is almost 16. He's 15. And then my daughter's 12. So
it's like me. I got 18, 16, 15, 13, 11.
So are you able to get the missus to play those games with you?
Yes.
Are you seriously?
It's a family game night.
So last time we played,
probably listening still.
Look, he's looking at his.
She's over there like, I hear you.
No,
I
can tell you, the JJW family is not going to be coming over to our house for D&D night. I can tell you that.
Deke and David. There's D&D. We could make this happen.
Oh yeah. I'd have to expand this thing a little bit. It would be D&D, Dungeons and Dragons and Deacon and David.
The last time that we played, Alex wasn't there, so I was just going to run his character. And Ashley was there. I was like, Mom, do you want to play? She's like, I don't know how to do it, but I'll do it. Ashley ended up having a blast playing this character. And even though I flubbed a couple of the rolls for her when she rolled, I flubbed them so that she would actually hit the creature or do, so she had a good time, even though she
don't tell her that. Let's let her think she won.
Let her think that she done, and she did, and she had a blast, and everybody had a blast with, she would roll the dice, and we'd be like, it was so fun. It was, we've had some really good family moments. There was one that was, Deacon had to roll like a 17, 18, 19, or 20 on a 20-sided dice,
Okay.
Roll 4 numbers on a 20-sided dice in order to do this, or he fails and this guy dies. And he rolled a natural 20, and it was the whole house. So there's some really fun times that you get with it. But yeah, family did.
We're having Eggo waffles and everything. I mean, we're full.
Awesome.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's awesome. Alex
has
got a Hellfire Club shirt. I'm gonna have to wear one day.
I need one. Sorry.
No.
We can geek
okay.
out.
All right. We're gonna you guys got to save the nerdy stuff for the end of the show. All right. Today's episode title card is it gonna? Okay. Here we go. Democrats fear free speech like vampires fear sunlight, and the reason is because there was a post yesterday. On the like post millennial, we had this oversight committee had these hearings. Let me pull this video up and you guys can see what's going on here. Democrats tried to censor RFK Jr. on the House in a House committee. He's there to provide testimony, and in the middle of his testimony, these Democrats are moving to strike his testimony and censor RFK Jr. RFK Jr. obviously a candidate for the Democratic nomination for president of the United States in 2024. And Democrats are so concerned about this guy saying anything. Let's have a look.
I'd like to raise a point of order. Young lady, state a point of order. Point of order pursuant to House Rule 11, Clause 2, which Mr. Kennedy is violative of. I move that we move into executive session because Mr. Kennedy has repeatedly made despicable anti-Semitic and anti-Asian comments as recently as last week. Rule 11, Clause 2 says, whenever it is asserted by a member of the committee that the evidence or testimony at a hearing may tend to defame, degrade, or incriminate any person, or it is asserted by a witness that the evidence or testimony that the witness would give at a hearing may tend to defame, degrade, or incriminate the witness, and it goes on. Mr. Kennedy, among many other things, has said, I know a lot now about bioweapons. We put out hundreds of millions of dollars into ethnically targeted microbes. The Chinese have done the same thing. In fact, COVID-19, there is an argument that it is ethnically targeted. COVID-19 attacks certain races disproportionately.
So this woman raised a point of order, and now is just
lady making a motion or a speech.
She's making a motion or a speech.
Move into executive session because Mr. Kennedy's testimony.
Mr. Chairman, I move.
She hasn't. He hasn't though. Whatever she's trying to prove, he hasn't. Did he?
Yeah. No, well, he has been on circuits talking to people, and he's
just
talking
because I say the
and,
word Chinese doesn't mean that I'm being racist. All right,
right.
Just
But
because
that's
I
not
say
it.
that black guy over there doesn't mean that I'm being a
No,
racist.
exactly. She's not, and she is not. That's not a legitimate, sincere call to order. And like, even if he was, why is he not allowed to provide whatever testimony he wants on the House floor? Right.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Mr. Chairman,
So
I ask for a roll call vote
this is
on the
Jim
motion to
Jordan
table.
here, sitting in the blue shirt in the center.
On the motion to table, the gentlelady has asked for a roll call vote. The clerk will have.
So now his testimony is basically paused while the committee takes a vote, and then they table the vote. You know, they basically are like, we'll consider your motion later, and then they go back to let him talk again. But she's not the only one. He had another one here, Stacey Plaskett. Also attempt to censor. So here's the thing: you get when you, and this is true for not just this committee, all kinds of committees, but especially when the witness is there to talk about a subject and the other party doesn't want to hear it. Instead of asking questions to revoke the argument or anything like that, they just do this circus sideshow. They raise these motions. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happens here.
That's what
Robert went on for 5 minutes about these people just trying to smear his name or whatever. And this is a man running for president for the Democrats.
That's why they're trying to do that.
Yeah.
That's why they're trying to do that. They don't want.
It's a filibuster.
Yeah.
Is all it is.
Yes. And you saw she raised a point of order, and then she picks up a prepared speech and starts just reading. And the chairman's like, "What are you doing? You can't do
speech,
that.
Or you doing? What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And then she just kind of, she's like, "Oh, I got caught. Let me put it down and keep going because he said this." And she looks like Darla from the trailer park. Come on.
Yeah. I don't really trust Robert F. Kennedy. But
I don't either.
I trust him.
What kind of horse show are we doing here? This is a monkey show.
Oh, you mean the committee of the, or you mean us?
One of us.
Us also. Yeah. All right. So
JJ didn't get
He
it.
didn't. He gets on.
All right. Also yesterday, Senator Chuck Grassley of the Judiciary Committee has been hounding the FBI in order to release a unclassified document. I think it's called an FD 1023. An FD 1023 is a statement regarding a confidential human source. And Chuck Grassley, in addition to James Comer, has been hounding the FBI for weeks to get this information. And finally gets it from the FBI. The FBI basically runs out of excuses in terms of stonewalling Senator Grassley. And Senator Grassley released it to the public yesterday. That's the wrong tab. Here you go. The FBI bribery file released in it the Burisma head, the Burisma CEO at the time, Mykola Jokovsky, whatever, this guy, these letters down here. The former CEO, co-founder and CEO, Mykola Jokovsky, into paying Hunter and Joe $10 million to make the Ukrainian prosecutor Viktor Shokin go away. That is what the FD 1023 says. So when back in, if you guys rewind your brains to like 2020, 2018, whenever it was, Russian collusion. No, it wasn't Russian collusion. It was Trump was impeached for quid pro quo. Isn't that what it was? Adam Schiff, quid pro quo. And yet we had Biden on tape admitting that he was withholding $1 billion unless the president of Ukraine fired the prosecutor, Viktor Shokin. We have that on tape. And now we have the Burisma CEO in a document asserting that he actually paid Hunter Biden $5 million, Joe Biden $5 million. And not only do we have that story, I actually have the 1023 itself right here. Now, I read through this. We're not going to read through all of this. In this FBI document, not only is there an assertion of the $5 million and for Hunter and Joe, let's see if I can find it. In this document, can you guys even see this?
Sure.
Joukowsky responded he did not send funds directly to the big guy, which CHS understood was a reference to Joe Biden. Okay, so in this FBI document, we have not only does the FBI understand that the big guy is a recipient of bribery, but they understand the big guy to be a direct reference to Joe Biden. And yet, when asked by social media in 2020 whether the Hunter Biden laptop was real, the FBI, knowing that this was true, knowing that it was a real laptop, knowing that there were real communications, the FBI responded, no further comment, and allowed Twitter, Facebook, social media companies to restrict the president of the United States and restrict and censor anyone who asserted that this stuff was happening. They got blackballed and blacklisted on social media. So this is a pretty damning document. It's a FD 1023 released yesterday. Do you guys have any thoughts other than, well, of course we know they're corrupt. Of course we know they're corrupt. Yeah, but it's one thing to know it. It's a different thing to have more evidence.
And
I mean, this is not good for. It's not good for Joe.
What do you think is going to come out of this, JJ? Do you think the mainstream media is going to plaster this everywhere, and average Joe public is going to get so mad at this that we're going to demand accountability, and we're going to demand that this, what's going on in Ukraine and the Bidens, and we're going to prosecute you to the fullest extent that we have done when Trump farts in the wrong direction, and we want to say, right, oh, he passed gas in the wrong part of the state, so we got to sue his ass. Are we going to do that? What do you think is going to come out of this? Nothing. 3 guys on an internet show with a handful of people are going to talk about it and listen to it and move on to talk about Marvel here in a minute. Is exactly
yep.
what's freaking happen with this story.
I'll throw my tinfoil hat on because I like that. When you have organizations, any law enforcement organization, their job is to, so let's say there's a murder that happens in the house next door.
Okay.
You or Deke or myself, there are 2 people that live there. There's one gun. One person's dead. One person's alive. Who did it?
We don't know.
Well, the assumption is going to be that the person alive.
Oh, yeah.
You've got 2 people. And you can throw in other facts that you might have. So law enforcement, their job is to collect the data.
Okay.
In that process, they might find, the bullet actually was not fired from this type of gun.
Right.
So the facts that we had before are now just slightly different. And now we have to figure out what was the actual gun. So we're talking about $5 million to each individual. Okay, cool. Where'd that come from? And there's like a whole trying to follow the money type aspect.
Yeah.
We want to assemble, and general public, we always want to assemble our idea of what's happening with the information, or more appropriately, the experiences that we have. And I've said this numerous times, experiences do not equal truth. I was talking with our police chief last night and talked about how some people will try to put together a puzzle. The wrong pieces or pieces from a different puzzle, and you just moisten the edge and you slam it right on in there.
Right.
So I don't care what a document says because it's not always, those are just facts.
Yeah, they are.
But what does it actually say? I can make it say one thing. And we can look at the news and you can see individuals take two completely different sides from the
Sure.
exact same bits of information.
You might have said this just a second ago, but isn't that what police officers have always said about eyewitness testimony? You know,
It's very
Right.
it's
unreliable.
unreliable
That's true.
eyewitness. Oh, it was a red truck, and that guy says it was a blue truck, and that guy says that it was a white truck. Well, okay.
So I'm not saying that this is like the smoking gun that
Right,
proves
right.
everything. What I am saying is that the FBI knew this statement from a confidential human source. They had it on record for years, and they lied about it and tried to not release the evidence, or tried to prevent the evidence from being available to members of Congress that are there to oversee this. And it really looks like the FBI is running interference for the president. That's what
So the
that's what it-
CHS said he understood the big guy to be
Yeah.
Biden.
Right.
He didn't say he actually was. The problem is if
That's
you have
true.
a law enforcement organization, any law enforcement organization say, yep, this is exactly what it is, when they don't know exactly what it is, then you start to destroy the credibility. So cards are always going to be held close until you have a rock solid case,
Right.
which is why you might see it take 9 months to do a sting on a human trafficking organization, because you have to have rocks.
You know, that would be defensible if we could believe that they would actually run down the leads, right?
Yes, and there's all
But there's
red tape.
there's
that
there's real reasons to believe they
You make a
won't.
good point, Dave, that because it takes time to do that, and the law enforcement officers don't want to release any kind of information, but we as a public are always like, what's happening? We've even got
we think
we've even got terms for it, rubbernecking and looky-loos and all that, you know. And so and especially this age of communication. Becky, do you know what's going on down on 5th Street? I just saw a bunch of cops down there. Oh, I don't know. Let me ask Tanya, you know, and everybody's got to freaking know immediately. And I always said, you know, decades ago when they were like, they're listening to our phone calls. The government's listening to our phone calls. Oh my God. I was like, I kind of hope that the government listens. You know, I kind of hope that there is some stuff that the government does that I don't have a clue about. I don't have a clue what's going on. I don't have a clue the technology involved.
You want them to handle it so you don't have to worry about it.
I don't want them to handle it so I don't have to worry about it. I want them to handle it because I, as John Q. Public, shouldn't know about it. Because if I know about it, the bad guys already know about it too. And I don't want the bad guys to know about it. So if to keep them from knowing about it is to keep John Public from knowing about it, I'm fine with that. Okay. I'm not saying everything.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's certain things that we don't need to know.
Right. And there are also layers. So if you've got your regular local PD that's surveillance on a local, that's one layer of stuff to deal with. If you're talking about an elected official who has all kinds of security layers of stuff that you have to deal with, that's a whole other level, and it's really easy to then turn and make it political, which is why you don't hear me really making any comments that anybody wants me to make, because I'm in my lane and I'm just going to stay in it, because that's what I have control. I'm comfortable knowing.
So I guess one of the problems is that we have we have public statements and we have behaviors to the public that look like corruption.
Yes.
And then we have a law enforcement agency that we're supposed to trust to expose it, and instead not only seems to run into interference, run on social media and silence citizens, literally had super user accounts in Twitter and other platforms to prevent people from talking about things.
It has a long history of showing that
they
do this.
Right. So and then the only legitimate check against these agencies is supposed to be our elected representatives that have oversight powers. And then we can literally watch the hearings where the people that are supposed to have oversight powers over these powerful institutions are just basically like, oh, we'll get back to you on that. And then they never do. Oh, and they just lie, or they just misrepresent facts on the record. So like, if the public is supposed to trust their reps and the reps are obviously powerless, then that just leaves an institution that can do whatever it wants and lie to you whenever it wants to without repercussion and consequence. And I don't like that.
Sure. You shouldn't. You shouldn't.
There's some, okay. So, let me just throw some other stuff in here. Cause I did read through this document yesterday and I realized it's not like, oh, this is the nail in the coffin. No, it's just one statement, one record or whatever.
One piece.
Let me pull it back up here. One piece. The Zhukovsky responded he did not send funds directly to the big guy, right? CHS asked the Zhukovsky how many companies and bank accounts the Zhukovsky controls. Zhukovsky responded it would take them investigators 10 years to find the records. CHS told Zhukovsky if he ever needed help in the future, he'd speak to somebody in the government on the matter. So the CHS witness and Zhukovsky, who were on the phone call, which is what the witness is talking about, he knew and understood that he had intentionally created a transaction web that was so complicated it would take a long time to.
That's what he says.
Yeah, right. That's what he's saying. Yeah, and that this is from a phone call in 2019. So this is. It's not been like, oh, it's been 6 months and this happened after. This stuff happened a long time before the 2020 election, before the laptop story broke, before it subsequent to, after, many years after Biden literally bragged about withholding American loan guarantees in order to get Viktor Shokin fired. So I don't know. Frankly, I don't expect the public to pick up on this story any more than they pick up on any other story, because what happens in the media cycle is that you have the initial story that gets out there, and then it is full of factual errors, and then media comes back later and corrects the errors, but the public never listens to the corrections. So we still hear Russia collusion hoax. We still hear Trump quid pro quo and many other things, even though these things are not only disproven but factually in error.
We have gotten to the point to where our society was the trusted news networks. We had trusted news networks that we trusted and got all of our news from, and then those handful of sources became everywhere, sources from everywhere, and now we really don't know who to listen to, because those trusted news sources that we've trusted for decades, we found that maybe they've had an agenda. And a lot of us that are in our middle age now were children and we watched our parents watch these trusted news sources with Walter Cronkite and Dan Rather and all these. And then we as the children, we watched our parents completely trust these people and believe everything that they say. And then we find out that a lot of things that they say weren't the truth, in our lifetime. And so we found out that a lot of that stuff that they said is not the truth. And we start to become jaded to that fact, along with the fact that in our generation, we have got instant communication now. Okay.
Right.
Ashley and I have talked about this several times about how we as parents, all three of us as parents right now, have we're very unique in the history of humans here, in the history of recorded humanity, in the sense that we are trying to teach our children, children have always taken a half a step from their parents, a half a step from their parents, a half a step from their parents. And
and incrementally get better.
And now
right?
the children did not take a half a step from us. They took a giant leap from us with the technology and the way that the world works and the way that they view things and the way that they watch TV and the way that they eat and the way that they do everything is done differently with technology than what we did with our parents and what our parents did with their parents. So there's been a huge step. And so that is the same way with the news. There's been such a huge step with this communication that we have found out in our lifetime that these trusted people can't be trusted. And now we've got people throwing news at our face from every direction that we don't know who to believe.
What do we do about
who do we believe? And our kids, do you know what our kids believe?
Whatever.
Any random Joe that makes a TikTok video and goes, oh, not exactly. The reason why stars have gas is because they have farts. And they'll like, the reason they have, it's you see what I mean?
I
I
commented on a post the other day on Facebook. I'm very rarely on there. Former student of mine made a post, biblical argument for, and it didn't say it was gun control, but it made the comment that, God didn't bake after Cain killed Abel, otherwise defenseless against Goliath. And I messaged him directly, and I said, dude, that's not a biblical argument. Anything about Cain using a rock to kill Abel. It's an extra biblical source. If anything, he's neck, because that's how Abel would have sacrificed things. Contextually, the Bible says blood came up from the ground or is calling out to God. So yeah. And then, yes, he did use a slingshot, but it does not say that's how he killed Goliath. He took Goliath's sword and cut Goliath's
off his head. That's exactly right. People forget that.
My argument is, people will say this is how it is. This is a biblical argument. Biblical in that. We just information that we find out. This is how it is, and we share it and post it. Now my buddy did take it down because he's like, "You're right. You're absolutely right." I was a professor for him, and
he could retool that and make an argument against banning assault knives.
That's how it's designed. It's designed to emotionally hit you and have you react. You not think that they want you to react. They don't want you to think, because when you think, you don't automatically react. And that sees you, it incites an emotion, and you react by you reposting it without realizing that everything that I just posted is going, is not factual. But what you're doing is you're telling that next person that doesn't know, and that next person that doesn't know. And me and JJ talked about that one day. And I made the point to my kid one day. I said something that, in 50 years, people are going to really think this really happened in history because this movie said that it happened.
Yes.
And it really didn't happen. The movie invented this, whole thing for movie purposes. And this really didn't happen this way. But in 50 years, that's going to be a fact, because people are going to be like, it really happened that way. So why is it so hard to believe that hasn't already been done before to us? Like the Paul Revere argument. When I actually read about Paul Revere, it was like, was the town drunk? And then they were like, of course. And it hit me. I was like, of course, all the men in the place did. He wasn't the only one, but that sure makes a really cool story to tell a bunch of preteens, don't it?
Yeah.
So that's been done to us for years.
My son was convinced that Johnny Cash shot a man in Reno. He was young and just listening, and he was convinced because Cash sang with.
He confessed on record.
I'm like, well,
there's a song by Waylon. It's by Merle Haggard and George Jones. It's called No Show Jones. And it's about the nickname that George Jones had because he would get so drunk that he wouldn't show up to his concerts, and he became No Show Jones. And so they call me No Show Jones is the name of the song, and they're making fun of other country stars. Like Dolly's got two good reasons why she's well known, and and they go through and that's what they say about Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash spent time in prison, and then Merle's like, he did, because that was a joke that everybody's always thought. That's very true how misinformation spreads very easily.
So just beware with second PSA for the day. Everything you listen to.
Hey, we're getting. I'm not even. I was gonna say we have a guy heckling us, even though he's so retarded. He's heckling us for stuff we're not even saying over on Rumble.
Yeah.
He's stupid.
All right.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. It's like this guy. This guy is on some other planet. He thinks we're talking about Trump or something.
I haven't talked about.
I think it's great. Hey, the Colin guy. Thanks for watching. So glad you're here.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. And
you're on Rumble.
You're an idiot. You retard. Okay. All right. Guys, we got the let's talk about this Powerball story and then we'll watch the Marvels trailer. We got a few minutes left. So anyway, that I thought that was interesting. Grassley's dropped the document.
JJ, do you think JJ and Dave, do you think you could live on $500 million?
No, that's not enough. 500 million? That's not
558.1 million.
Is that after taxes?
No, that is the lump sum payment. One winner in California had all the numbers. 200. Let's see. This one was 1.08 billion, the third largest in the game's history, the sixth largest in U.S. lottery jackpot ever won.
Wow.
And yeah, the 2.404 billion that was one that we kept having the story about the dude.
Yeah.
I read a story last night. I meant to post it and I was going to bed. That case is fizzling in court is what they're saying. So the dude that said this is my ticket, it's his ticket.
Yeah.
So the guy that's like, he stole my ticket, it's kind of fizzling out.
Surprise. I'm zero surprised.
So we won't know.
And that guy walked around grinning all the time, like the happiest guy.
I would too if I just won $2 billion. We won't know who won this jackpot until very soon, until they come out. If I just won $558 million, yeah, I wouldn't be telling you.
You'll never know.
Yeah,
you'll never know if I win.
Yeah, I always said if I won, you would eventually find out. If I won that jackpot, you would be like, man, I hadn't seen Andy in like 3 months. Has anybody talked to him? I mean, he just disappeared. He just vanished.
Oh my gosh. What would you even do with that much money? Do you have any idea?
Yeah.
What would you even do? You do? Yeah. You do. You know what you would do.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that I would help. I have gotten to the point in my life.
Oh yeah.
I've gotten to the point in my life that I don't want anything. The only thing that I want is for my children to have long, happy, healthy lives and do what they want. I don't have a want for any material. I would like to have certain things, but I don't need, certain things. So I would help people. And I see people in my county all the time starving. I see kids that have their family doesn't give a crap about them, and they need clothes, they need shoes in the summer, they need jackets in the winter. And these are kids in my little bitty town. And if they're happening in my little bitty town, it's happening in the big cities unbelievably. So I feel like that if you have that much money, if you're blessed with that much money to not have to worry about paying your bills and eating and a roof over your head, then it's your responsibility to do with that money to do other things in the world. Like it's Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates and all their responsibility now, Elon Musk's responsibility not to go to Mars, all right, and not to put satellite. It's your responsibility to make the world a better place. If we can go to Mars and terraform Mars, and we can terraform Earth, all right, and we can start growing. We can terraform places to start growing food for people that need food.
So I certainly understand the impulse to like provide charitably. to those around.
And I'm not just saying that because we're on a show either. Right. I would say this to you guys.
No. But okay, and you have a small town, like in particular. If you suddenly had hundreds of millions of dollars, you could just like buy some property and like, give people homes and things like that, or food or whatever. But wouldn't it be better and bigger to like invest in some sort of industry that provides ongoing jobs, ongoing, and that's what Musk seems to do. When he has profits, he folds them into his business. He grows his business.
And I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything disparaging about those guys. I can. We could have a whole separate conversation on
maybe
where I could take all of the billionaires and say positive and negative things about all of them. But I'm not. I was just using those three guys because those are the richest people in the world.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I would.
Sinister, what do you think? What would you do with $200 million?
Every church,
because that's what you get to keep.
Every church that I've worked at, I'd pay back my salary 100%, and I would create some type of passive income, so I could continue to work for free. The churches would never know about this. I would have it done through a third party, and hey, what's all this from? They'll never know what it's from unless they sit down and start adding up. Oh, I know what this is. The town that I live in, I would love to see revitalized. That will not happen until there is a good infrastructure for communication. It took forever for us to get high-speed internet.
Right.
There is no business here. We are a pass-through town. We're on a highway, not even an interstate. So it's in the middle of nowhere. In our whole county, we have 3 stoplights in our whole county.
Oh, wow.
We're the 5th.
Okay, various.
We're the 5th largest landmass size county in the state of Kentucky. So it's not a small area. It's just a lot of small towns.
Right.
A town is right around 1,000 people, 1,030, 1,080, something like that.
Little.
Yeah. I would want to see some type of reason for people to come here. Because I genuinely love the people here. Most ministers stay at a church right around 2.5, 3 years. That's your length of longevity. The church that I'm in, I've been there 7 years. I've been in ministry 23. But I've got some staying power, and they see that. No, I'm sorry, I said 7. I mean 12. I've been here 12 years. The longest was 7 before me. So I'm very much committed to this area, this town, this county.
I mean, it's especially small towns. It's about finding some sort of either resource generation or some sort of goods or something like that. Or in like Deacon's case, Deaconstown is near
tourism,
a big lake that is as a tourist attraction. But there's a lot more crossroad towns in America that don't really have an asset like that. So,
but you have to bring you have to bring something. For something like that little town, you would need something like a restaurant or something. Like there's a town close to us. If you didn't want to put to try to bring something there, I was trying to think what would I put in a little town to not make it a big town, to keep it that small town atmosphere. There's a town not too far from us in Missouri that has this restaurant that is that's kind of locally known. Have you ever heard of Lambert's, Dave?
Yeah.
Okay.
Home of
the Throne Rolls. Did you hear what he said, JJ? Home of the Throne Rolls. This little restaurant started, and these guys, and they would the woman that worked there in the 30s, and she would take the rolls, and if somebody wanted a roll, she was coming out of the kitchen. Somebody wanted a roll back there, hey, and she would take them and throw them. And throw the people. So you're sitting in your booth and you want to roll, you raise your hand and they throw your roll. And you catch it. And sometimes they miss and hits the floor and they'll throw you another one. And they're big, huge rolls. They're like huge. And that is over the years, that's become their thing. Is the Home of the Throne Rolls. If people come
now.
Yeah, it's a chain now, but it started there in Missouri. And it's people come from everywhere to this place. And another thing about the restaurant is it's home cooking. So it's home style cooking. So the cooking is fabulous. And
I can already taste the butter on the roll.
Wait a minute though. this is the best part. They have people that walk around to your table and they have like okra. Like, you want some okra? So you've already got your plate with your green. Let's say I get the pork chops, green beans, and mashed potatoes. Well, they'll come around with okra and potato. It's like granny's coming by. Y'all want some more?
Really.
It's great. It's great.
Man.
But that turned that little town. So if you had something like that in a little town that was an attraction, without being an attraction, you could do that. I don't know how we got on this conversation, but
because we got this guy. He just won $1 billion. He's going to take the cash payout of $558 million. Then the government's going to take like 40% of that, 50% of that. So he's going to have $200 million, and I just wonder like what you do with it. Because like
you want $1 billion, what are you going to do with the $200 million?
Exactly. What happened to all my money? And in 3 years, that money will all be gone too. unless you find a way to invest it into something that can build more money, build more income, but not only build more income, but can also do good elsewhere, like create jobs for people and lift up everybody around you. And I'm not saying he's obligated to do that. He could go spend all of that on like some rocks or something. I don't know. I don't care. It's his money. Bunch of
some rocks.
One lucky sucker played Powerball and got lucky, and a bunch of unlucky suckers played and lost.
And the IRS always wins every time.
Hey, hello, Night Prowler 636. We got another guy over there. He's talking about not calling us misinformation, but talking to our previous troll. So, hey, welcome. Thanks for watching the show.
All kinds of people today.
Yeah, I know. It's the Liars Club is kicking up. I should have made a graphic for it. All right, guys.
Misinformation. I love that word too. By the way,
misinformation.
Misinformation is one of those words that they have that people have latched onto. Have you noticed that over the years as we've gotten older?
Oh yeah,
there's certain words that people latch onto, and it's parroting is the word, but that's how I always hear it in my mind. Is when somebody says one of those words and they keep saying it over and over. Yeah. It's like misinformation. That's misinformation. Misinformation. That's how I hear it.
That's winning some argument or something.
Yeah, like you're. Oh, well, maybe you've completely convinced me. Maybe I am spreading oh my goodness. Like that's going to happen.
What's the misinformation we spread? I literally just said today, I only said the FBI lies to you and has been lying to you in Congress. Misinformation.
Said today.
Really? Somebody's stupid.
Misinformation.
Somebody's retarded.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, guys. We here every weekday morning, 6:30. All right, this is the most exciting thing we've done all day, guys. This is it.
We need you a timpani roll right there on your sound effects so that you can.
I can't do my sound effects. You complained about it warbling something earlier.
I just broke my fingers doing that.
That was. All right, this is our dad joke today. All right, JJ, do you want to?
No, we're gonna watch this trailer. You're gonna watch this trailer.
Oh, we're watching the trailer.
I hate that we're doing dad jokes.
And then we'll do dad jokes.
Carol Danvers, prodigal child of the Milky Way.
Nick Fury, my favorite one-eyed man of intrigue.
How goes it out there?
Cold, no air, space.
She just complained about her job.
Captain Marvel, the Annihilator. You took everything from me. And now I'm returning the favor.
What is happening to me?
Hey, pause it real quick, JJ.
For sure.
You've got a Beastie Boys song that's starting right there.
Oh.
I heard it in the background, and I was like, that sounds like Intergalactic by the Beastie Boys fixing to start.
That's so awesome. We have to interrupt this. So, hey, we're only 50 seconds in. so far. So exciting, right? We got a girl that took Ronan's hammer, and
I don't know anything about it yet. It's 50 seconds.
Okay, all right.
I'm just letting you know, with copyright reasons.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
You might get this video because of this song. They don't care. YouTube's bastards.
Yeah.
Our light-based powers, so we switch places whenever we use them.
Strong theory.
You can absorb light. I can see it. And Kamala...
Who's Kamala?
Hi. She can turn light into physical matter, which I have never heard of.
I could totally show you.
No!
You're right. That is Beastie Boys, right?
I'm not. I've been working in radio for 30 years. Did you know
that? is that?
I know a little bit about popular music. Just a little bit.
Okay. Maybe I should turn it down. I don't know.
That's not going to help.
That's not going to help.
No, you might as well.
She's targeting every planet we call home.
Aww.
So is
that's
this
the face?
Ronan? Who is this? Does it?
I don't know. I don't. This is what I learned so far. Captain Marvel, and then the other Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, and then they have Kamala Khan and some girl. So it's a star-studded cast of females that are fighting about something.
I don't care about that. Go.
I don't either. But
hit
it. Let's finish.
I would never choose to bring anybody into this.
You are not the only thing standing between this and the universe.
Oh my God, we're a team.
Higher.
Further. Faster.
Who's that good kitty, Gus?
I can't. Can you?
I got it.
So that's pretty funny. So the little girl that plays Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, she is. I like her, man. I like that TV show.
I love.
And she was a comic fan like we were.
Mm-hmm.
She would dress up in cosplay as Kamala Khan. You know, is what I've found out. She and then they picked her to be Kamala Khan. So they were like, yeah. So I liked that TV show. Who do they call Monica Rambeau? What do they call her?
Photon. I think they're calling her Photon.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So Monica Rambeau was the original Captain Marvel back in the 70s. Well, the original second Captain Marvel. You know, you had Marvel, and then you had Monica Rambeau.
Okay.
And then later it was Ms. Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Who are I'm looking for this shot. There, it seems like they have a shot where the female villain, whoever that is,
it's going to be the daughter of Ronan or something like that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Why?
It's not. It turns out it's not the person with the painted face. I thought that was Ronan, but it looks like it's just a guard.
It's gonna be the daughter of Ronan. You are.
Okay. So what's your first reaction to Ms. Marvel? Oh no, the Marvels. It's a girl team up movie against a girl bad guy.
I'm not a fan of Miss Marvel, Brie Larson's Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
I loved her in the movie. Was it Just Mercy? She was phenomenal, but I can't stand her Miss Marvel. I want to like it, but I can't, and I don't like her portrayal. She's just all arrogance with no redemption.
Dar-Benn.
Dar-Benn.
Hang on, let me see.
Arrogance in a superhero or girl, but I want there to be redemption for it. Like they see why it's wrong. She doesn't do that. She's just totally cocky and arrogant all the time.
So I haven't seen the Captain Marvel movie. Obviously, it got a lot of bad press, and I was just like, I don't need to see this. I don't need to watch it. But what I have seen is Brie Larson in commercials for, I think, like Lincoln or something like that for cars, And my wife and I would be like watching something on TV, and this commercial would come up, and this woman would be on screen or whatever. And my wife looked over to me and says, "I don't know who that is, but I don't like her."
I
I
really liked her in the movie Just Mercy with Michael B. It was
I really liked her when she had her little stint in Community. She was Abed's nerdy girlfriend in Community, and I really liked her, and I didn't even realize who that was. And she's not the same. I don't like that. I know that commercial too. I see it all the time, and I don't like her in that commercial either. But the Marvels movie was fine. But I've always liked the Kree Skrull crap. The bad guy in this, her name is Dar, Dar-BENN, Dar Ben, and Dar Ben was a male Kree soldier in the 616 universe. So they have changed,
gender swapped it.
Yeah, there's not a huge page on him at all. They had he was joint. Dar Ben and Alil Dan became joint emperors of the Kree Empire. Both were murdered by Deathbird. Their minds were later absorbed by the Supreme Intelligence.
How far off am I here? We have Captain Marvel, Kamala Khan. They keep switching places. How far off am I from thinking that this is sort of a take on Parent Trap?
What?
Parent Trap. You ever watch Parent Trap?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a, wacky comedy where two people swap places. Don't you?
Now you got three. Every
yeah,
time
you
they
get
use
three.
your powers,
I'm not sure if Monica Rambeau is getting entangled in that either.
Though.
They are literally switching places.
They're meeting.
No. She's off in space somewhere, and what's her name hits the quantum bracelet and makes them literally swap places because of their quantum powers. That is
completely different than the Parent Trap thing. I think that's just one little thing. They just
because instead of a bracelet, they just wished.
I think you're okay. I think you're taking a small portion of the trailer and trying to make it huge. When we watch the movie, it's going to be like a 30-second part of the trailer, and it's not going to say anything else. Like that happened in the story. They switch places real quick. Oh my God, what's happening? This is craziness. Hi, Miss Marvel. Hi, Miss Marvel. Oh, we've got a mission. Let's team up and go on a mission together. I don't think that's anything.
I think that's happening multiple times in the movie. Because there's a part where Kamala Khan is
with the bracelet, and the bracelet is what connects them to the supervillain, and that's why they keep doing it. And that's going to be a key that they have to discover in the story, the magical item, the key to the magical item that is linking all of them together. Is all that is.
The MacGuffin.
I don't think it's a Parent Trap thing though. And then the comedy, every one of them's got comedy. Every Marvel movie has comedy.
Yeah, I know.
And it just depends on who's delivering the comedy, whether the masses like it or not.
Yeah, it does. All right. So I don't know. This is coming out in November. This is the first trailer. I'm sure we'll see more.
All right. I'm gonna have to go here in a minute, boys.
Okay. Let's go. Hear you.
Are you there? I've gotten some weird audio now.
Oh, yeah. Where's Mom? I don't know, but I do know this. Lily, do you know how to keep a bull from charging?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
Yeah, you take away his credit card.
You take away his credit card. Deacon guessed the answer to the joke. Deacon's a jerk.
Hey, look, I understand.
Is what I was going to go with, but
I know, a lot. I know a lot of jokes. And I know a lot of jokes about unemployed people too, but not a lot of them work. None of them work.
Oh, Lily, I got it.
I was at the doctor the other day, and they prescribed me some anti-gloating cream.
Oh yeah,
I can't wait to rub it in.
All right, Lily, this is your joke. Saying, where does a penguin keep her money? Where does a penguin keep her money? Say, where does a penguin keep her money?
Where does the penguin keep their money?
Where?
Where?
Where? A snowbank.
A snowbank.
Nice.
Gracious.
Oh, good job. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody, especially the controversial argumenty stuff that happened over on the chat. We loved it. It was great. We love you, and we'll forgive you, Colin Guy.
That's 2 days in a row that we've ruffled feathers.
Oh, no. Oh, that's so sad. All right, we'll be back next week.
Controversial to controversial. You're on the next
What
controversy.
did we say that was even controversial? The government lies to you. Oh, that's misinformation.
Hey,
All
thanks for joining us today,
Yeah.
Sinister.
Yeah, so appreciate it so much. I'm gonna make a liar's table, and we can maybe do this on Fridays. Dave says he's gonna try to keep Fridays open, if that's cool with you, D.
Okay.
All right, man. All right. We'll be back later. Bye, everybody.